that's still a point. It doesn't have to pass through the net to make a point, and that's why the net is there. So you can see when the ball makes it all the way in and then potentially bounces back out, which is why you have those long little segments where people are trying to figure out how far did the basketball go through the hoop.
And now we know.
And now you know. Absolutely.
And knowing is half the battle.
Exactly.
The rest of the battle is actually doing it, though, and that's certainly what these teams are going to be trying to battle their way through if they can get past those incredible basketball facts. I say facts in a plural sense. There was only a singular fact.
There's another fact here.
Okay, we'll save that for in a minute.
All right.
Okay, it's been a minute. What's the fact?
There you go. Second fact is that the net's also there for when the cameraman is on the side of the sideline. This is a little sub-fact. But, you know, you can, with the way that the hoop is set up, you know, toss the basketball up for a cheeky three-pointer and it go to the left of the hoop and still look like it's gone in. So you have the net there also to ensure that everyone on the court knows exactly what's happened. And already we're getting some absolute carnage on the court here in Paradise Resort.
There it goes. S2G, 5K in the bank. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Not only that, first elim will have been going over to them as well. 7K for that fight alone.
All right, then, S2G not happy about how the previous game went there and just immediately wanted to take the fight to Esports, and they've absolutely done such a thing. And Silas gets that nice little team elimination right there at the end.
Very cool. And solo loot in Paradise. What could be better? What could be better? Let's talk about the circle for a second. This is a pretty hard shift for a Sanhok.
It's fairly extreme, you know. Some might even say extreme if you were Maxman on the desk.
I'll tell you what is extreme.
Okay.
Is the fact that if you watch PMWI together in-game with your friends, you can win PMWI special sets. That's pretty wild. That's pretty extreme.
I will say that your segue was less extreme than what I was expecting.
I'll give you extreme in a minute.
Right. Well, you can have extreme in a minute, but only after you've picked yourself up a PMWI gun skin and outfit. Those PMWI packages are on sale for a limited time, just as limited as how fast this fight went for S2G. And you can win those PMWI treasure chests if you play PUBG Mobile during the PMWI.
Very good, very good. Painan, occupied by Deadeye's guys, potentially, well, they will have to leave it fairly soon. Alpha 7, occupants in Camp Bravo on the northeastern side. No one really challenging them very, very locally, but you've got Team Rad up a little bit further north. And that's really the only team that's sort of in their proximity. Central, Boot Camp, Stalwart.
Do you know what I'm really liking about these lobbies at the moment? It's just the splits that's coming through on Sanhok, purely because we only have 12 teams. A lot of these players are much more comfortable to take extreme splits at the beginning of the game so they can get as much loot as possible. You can even see Vampire Esports. You can't right now, but when the map feed does come back up again for you, but I will tell you because I am nice in that way. You got Vampire Esports holding 2 towards Camp Alpha and also towards the Confluence, and then 2 down towards Tambang and Ruins, which gives them really, really good control over 2 of the major areas on the map, that Southwest and also Northwest Islands. So really good stuff for Vampire Esports. They can kind of determine where they want to go as the game progresses. Right now, I would probably assume the Vampire Esports Stoned as well as Fluketh are going to be moving up from Ruins and Tambang to regroup with Schweppes and Ravenclaw.
That would seem to be the optimal position, and I feel like this is exactly the situation that this position shines in, right? And that's exactly what they're going to be able to operate on. Huge stuff coming through from Vampire Esports. We've praised a lot in general, even during the main tournament last week. Their seeming game sense in terms of these rotations, in terms of these positions, and knowing when and where to be, seems like they are carrying that over quite well into the Afterparty Showdown. Certainly will in this game.
Yeah, the macro is turning out to be very important for a lot of these teams, and Vampire Esports have certainly been able to cash in a chunk of money just with the macro that they've been displaying, getting those chicken dinners, that 10K. It's a lot of money for a chicken dinner. So, you know, a lot of these teams are searching out for it because you can get special eliminations, you can get the team eliminations and those very first elimination of the map, but that 10K, that is a consistent. That's always coming your way if you do play the game out very, very strongly. S2G, though, they've got a bit of momentum here. You know, they've puffed out their chest. They're feeling good after that squad wipe. You know, you're feeling maybe a little bit down after the last match. And even if you get that full squad wipe coming into Sanhok, you know, it's not the best. You know, you feel good about yourself. But getting it a revenge versus R8, ooh, that's got to feel good.
Certainly does. I'm looking right now at another way that one could feel good in this lobby. The airdrop over on the northern side, close to down one Kia, under the purview a little bit of 7C. But if S2G swing around, they might even be able to get the first airdrop. You can see it on the top side of your screen. Sung, though, has got that info, baiting out the 1K bounty for it, potentially.
I think that right now we're starting to see more and more DBSs through the lobby. And it might be a DBS showdown for the loot crate itself. And all props to Fabian for really popularizing this method in the PMWI. He had some sick matches over towards Miramar with that weapon. And, you know, we're all happy to see it. Kalaris is super happy to see it.
Do you know what DBS stands for?
No.
Da Big Shotgun.
Da Big Shotgun.
That's right.
Of course it does, yes. Is that in your head or, you know, canonically?
I choose to not answer that question.
That's okay. You know, no comment is a comment in of itself. Damwon Gaming, Damwon Kia, just down this side, holding strong. Really just baiting. Everyone's baiting out the airdrop. I mean, $1,000 is nice, but, you know, if you can get the most team eliminations, you know, that's a big chunk of money there. So you really want it to be very, very safe before anyone heads out to even touch this airdrop. You can see teams surrounding it.
Over on the northwestern island here, Vampire did get spotted out. I don't know if that was by 7C or even Stalwart or Deadeye's guys on the south side, but Ravenclaw did get knocked. I imagine it's in this engagement because you can see another knock coming through from Vampire Esports down the hill towards the Deadeye's guys as point break will be Fluketh on the south side of the formation for Vampire Esports.
Ooh, that is a nasty one, but it will play out nicely for Vampire Esports should they be able to get this player back up in an action. It looks like Deadeye guys have taken a little bit of damage for themselves.
Sliver of HP left on, I believe that's Chari who's getting red there. Spotted out on the hillside. Fluketh still raining down pain on Deadeye's guys who are right with their backs to the blue on this next zone. They will have to move. And Vampire Esports, they're just going to have complete control over this terrain.
I think Fluketh, we talked a lot about Stones and how he's almost that star player for the team, but I think Fluketh and, in fact, the whole team is very, very good, but I think Fluketh as a fragger is kind of, you know, we don't talk about him too much, but even in that first day of PMWI, on Erangel, where they got a ridiculous elimination score, I believe it was 24 total, Fluketh was one of the main contributors to that, and I think he has really supported Stone very well in that regard. It's fantastic to see. You know, they really do have all their own little roles on the team, and you can see them being played out as well. There's some very, very consistent gameplay coming through from Vampire Esports, and they know the drill.
I mean, those off angles from Ravenclaw, just time and time again, coming in so clutch in those fights. It's a very well-coordinated team. As you say, their macro, their rotations, their positioning, some of the best in the world.
That loot crate is still just poison, by the way. No one wants to head towards it. I think we need some kind of taste tester from the lobby to head on over. Oh, and another one drops in the location as well. So there's potential here for one team to quickly pick themselves up. The first airdrop and most airdrops in the lobby, but down one Kia. Oh, dear.
That's bad for business. 7C, though. Love and life right now. Fabian about to get flushed. Aladdin actually pops on out. Shooting the railings, not going to do too much, though. Back into the pickup. Hit the deck again. Control the bridge.
I like this spot from Aladdin. He is slightly lonely out here, though. But realistically, he just needs support from Scout, Sarang, and Madman off in the distance. He just provides info, hits a few shots, and is very safe inside that pickup. Difficult to get to him in there unless someone takes high ground on him. Alpha 7 going at it again versus BTR here. BTR down towards the south, just the west side of Paradise Resort, and Alpha 7 making their wrap over this side. Enigma Galaxy as well as Falcons also starting to approach the circle. It's Enigma Galaxy who have made the big run through the Western Island. They're right behind Deadeye's guys now.
Certainly are. Vampire Esports did move up a lot further north, so that traffic jam has shuffled along. But it is, you're right, the Hamodi has now leapfrogged the position from Deadeye's guys. They're on the compounds in the northwest. No one really in those exact compounds to challenge them. Can Vampire Esports get the bead on them, get something done? Those loot crates, by the way, those airdrops have still yet to be touched.
Like I said, man, they do have spikes on them. You got to be careful because getting too close to an airdrop can spell the demise of your team. Enigma Galaxy, though, I think they really do have to be careful on this approach. They've all taken up compounds on that northwestern edge, as you can see. And I think this is where they start to scout out, figure out where all these players are rotating into. But this circle doesn't really have a definitive area on either side of the island. That bridge is still in there. Vampire Esports fairly happy with the current spot that they're holding.
I feel like it is looking more like a Northwest Island finish, right? I mean, you have only got a fairly tiny chunk of that mainland, but we've seen crazier things happen, right? Certainly plenty of hard shifts going on today. So on a hard eastern shift, there is still potential. But those crossings that were made early, good news. Things like Stalwart moving across from boot camp, it feels like they've made the right decision.
100%. 7C, though, still being our fishermen's in the lobby, throwing the long line with the airdrop being the bait here.
Like those team intros.
A lot of these teams are very, very smart with it, I suppose, the best way to play. It's a tricky fish to catch. A lot of these teams being intelligent in this game. STG, though, they have moved out with the boat, and it looks like Madman was able to hit a very, very dirty spray. Silas, though, tries to take the shot, so Madman is having none of it.
I mean, the boat's up in flames. It's swimming for pretty much everyone in the water. Two of them are knocked out there, Raze and Hamzy. As that Raze knock did just come through. Are they looking to try and get these reses?
It's going to be difficult, but they got one. And Silas just trying to provide support, but I don't think he realizes that from that angle, Madman can just peek on the left side, and he's just never going to hit that shot through the window. Just trying to suppress, but the suppressing fire is just not good enough because it's never going to be a problem for Madman if Silas remains there.
Were they trying to go for the loot crate? I think they might have been. But it feels like S2G really have kind of shot themselves on the foot. Maybe they were just trying to look to cross more accurately.
There's another loot crate up here as well. It's all happened in the same location. It's out in the water, so you know it's very, very dangerous for any of these teams to even attempt it. So I think right now it's the chicken dinner that's on the cards. Maybe towards the end you have a little bit of a leisurely swim when there's less players in the lobby. Falcons, though, they've come in very late to the circle. Enigma Galaxy, they've already taken up position.
Oh, straight on past, down the hill. Hard cover from terrain, but the push comes through. Enigma Galaxy move forwards. Auto Shotty not going to be strong enough. Lord able to get the side swipe. Powerful. Back behind the rock. Needs to cower behind it. Not really too much to do here other than try and just hold out. Hold on for dear life. The flank comes through. There's an off angle from Enigma Galaxy. The pan to add insult to injury as Ralph swings in for the back angle.
Goodness me. Has he been fried? Is he easy over? Who knows in this situation, but he's certainly out of the game. Never Alone tosses the nades over the top. Try to find some damage. It's really good onto Hamodi, though. One more might do the trick. There's another player heading towards that location. This could be very bad.
Ooh, good damage. Hamodi managed to get the heal off there. Never Alone spots it, handles business on the swivel. Ralph now on the back angle. Could have been pivotal there, but didn't slow down the push from Never Alone. Looking to turn this one around. Team Falcons with 3. Nade in hand for Powerful at the back, but one's popped over the top. It will suppress the angle and has the backup for the rest of his team. Up the top of the hill, there's Freak, and Deadeye's guys are starting to chime into the fight as well. Never Alone finally taken care of. Deadeye's guys handle the back lines, and it is all falling apart for Enigma Galaxy.
They've been ripped to pieces in a fight that they thought would be easy, and now it's all down to Ralph here. Does confirm one, and Lord and Hamodi making the long crawl across. It's Deadeye guys who have their sights focused over towards Vampire Esports. So, you know, potentially there's a chance here that Enigma Gallic gets at least 3 players back up on their feet, but maybe not with Shifu, who is actually moving around the side of the coast here.
I believe S2G might have managed to pick up one of those crates out in the water in the meantime, but you have to think that Deadeye's guys have made this choice consciously. They were ahead of both Enigma Galaxy and Team Falcons in the queue on that western side. They have chosen to stay behind. They have chosen to be at the back of the queue.
Damar, that's a nice long-range shot onto them, and even so, Deadeye's guys were able to make a nasty little bit of damage over to all these teams. It's not been good, and Deadeye's guys have really thrown all of these teams into the cauldron. It's starting to boil now here on Sanhok.
Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Not easy in the cauldron on the northern shore. Alpha 7 making their way to land, and will be able to do so. Rad trying to challenge position potentially. Carrillo trying to shimmy up the cliff and get the UMP out. Close range spray. Asada moves out of the line of fire, but unfortunately, barrel-based fish for the players at the back.
It's easy pickings for Alpha 7, but they are right on the edge at the moment, so they'll have to start to pick their moment to head further in. And surprisingly, Sung and Forest are still going, despite the absolute awful experience they had with 7C. They were able to put an end to their 4-man team there, dropping them down low to just 2. Rex off in the distance, not able to support the rest of his team. Alpha 7 crawled from the waters. What?
Okay. There you go. Alpha 7 managed to get the elimination across the way. In the meantime, I believe S2G have managed to get another crate on Kelsey, the last player standing. 5 eliminations for the team after getting that first squad wipe over in Paradise Resort. They have got a healthy tally and a healthy earning from this game already.
We might not get the chicken dinner, but we will get those match rewards. And honestly, with the amount of money that's been pumped into every single one of these matches, you know, you take that cash where you can. And I fully respect S2G for playing the game they did here. Shifu.
Ooh, close auto shotty in hand. Powerful has the UMP, but neither of them going to shoot off rounds aimed at either. Lord is traded off. Deadeye's guys, though, managed to find Enigma Galaxy as Ralph falls as well. Proving to be a little bit tricksy. Aladdin close to Zuxi. Oh, he knows. He knows. Oh, he knows. And he is going to shut it down. Liquid. Genfos at the back. Still crawling in. Should try and get a little bit closer here, but the blue zone will tick away. Aladdin repositions as 7C hold out the east side of Hudson.
That could have been very bad there. Alpha 7 able to shut down Damwon Kia. Just came out of the water very, very speedily. Falcons, though, still in this, despite having a rough start towards the end of this game. They're going to have to maybe bring this one back.
Circle finally sent us landward, as we will be spared the swimming antics that S2G have been operating under so far. Deadeye's guys, Molotov onto Powerful, eliminates Team Falcons. On that northwestern side there, you can see just picking up the pieces for Deadeye's guys, bring themselves back up to their 3 total players that they have remaining after the res.
Liquid swings past, bops his teammate on the head, you know. Get back in the game. You've got to win this one. Keep your wits about you. Alpha 7, though, swam across. 4 players still alive, John. They have done some absolute magic in terms of survival. Scout, though, 5 eliminations so far. 4, 7C. I think Scout has an idea of where these players are. And Alpha 7 now have to make a long trudge over towards 7C's compound. Great smoke walls. This has been a classic move coming through from Alpha 7 throughout both days of the Afterparty Showdown.
For the position that Vampire Esports have held, the fact that they have no elims surprises me. I feel like they've been close to conflict for the last 10 minutes or so, but it seems like they just haven't opted to go in for these direct fights. They've been playing quite passively, and now the circle moves towards them on the south side shift.
Well, you remember the northwest side, all the teams who have fought over there have lost 1 or 2 players or are completely out of the game entirely. And they've decided to wait and bide their time, swing down towards the south side after this circle centers up just a little bit. And this is going to work out really well for Vampire Esports.
Nade over towards Alpha 7. Mafioso taken down.
Calci
for S2G manages to get to land. I mean, this is what loot crates can do for you, right? That's what the airdrops are there for. Get that ghillie in, and especially on Sanhok, could prove to be absolutely crucial. Mythic moves forwards to Mafioso's position. Scout suppressed on the roofline. And they will have to reposition, push further into Hut-in.
Calci spotted by Carrillo. They do not let any gunshots go unanswered. Very much on the swivel now. Calci's in an awkward scenario. 21 players left here. 7C still with 4. Unfortunately, Biggitron did take a knock there. But now Vampire Esports starting to spread their arms here in the circle, spread their influence.
The darkness swells, hopefully, for Vampire Esports in Hut-in. Nades still pouring in towards Alpha 7, but 7C, they're moving into the back of the push for Biggitron. Now crunched between Vampire Esports and 7C. Aladdin falls back as there's answers from the barrels of Biggitron. Spray? Maybe? No. Turned around. Shut down. Mythic keeps them alive. Alpha 7 eliminate S2G.
Goodness me, Mythic has been unbelievable with these spray transfers because you know he's waiting for the money transfers back to his bank account, so he has to make them good. There's no way that anyone's getting behind this team with this player with Alpha 7. Stalwart, though, do take down Revo, and they're in a rough scenario at this moment. They're not quite in the zone yet, and it has been absolutely unbelievable that they've been able to get this far in the first place.
Liquid 1 versus 4 on the push against 7C. Repositions, new side of the warehouse. Do 7C know that he's made this position, made this push? Looks like they're still nading on the left stanchion, but in comes Scout. Looks to be the front man. Pushes into the position that they think he's in. He turns around the side. Liquid needs to get a knock or 2 as it is getting suppressed from the sidelines. 7C losing players on the off angle, and Liquid repositions yet again. Aladdin wants to go for the push, but Sarang around the side. Excellently executed, but Madman's down. Can 7C pick up the pieces?
Should be able to get this player back up and moving, considering they're still in the zone. Stalwart, Pika, takes down Joker. And Stalwart have been very quiet during this map, but still have 3 players, but it's Scry who goes down. And Alpha 7, how have they got in once again? They just escape death from time to time, but now just Mafioso left alive.
They are the survivors here. 8 eliminations, tying up with 7C on 8 as well. But you're right, it is only Mafioso with so much to do and a long way to run. 7C looking their way. Stalwart as well, putting that lead right down range. And Mafioso trying his best not to eat it for lunch.
Vampires, they know where the shade is from the blue, and you'd expect it to be so. As it moves down towards their position, Stalwart's still ahead of them. They've not had to do too much at all, and they're starting to get some eliminations, 2 so far, but it's that 10K that they're looking for this game.
If Alpha 7 can take down 7C, or, well, I'll stop that sentence right there, because that is going to even up the elimination points. If 7C go down right now, could potentially be a little bit tricky on the tiebreaker for most eliminations, but Stalwart, they're suffering. In comes Vampire, pushing on through. They want the 10K chicken dinner. They want that money. And who can blame them? Champions of the PMWI here at the Afterparty Showdown. And spraying around the corner, Scout can't quite win out the fight against Pika. Pika's just a little bit too on the ball, but Sarang has the bead, has the angle. Scout, potential to get res, but Ravenclaw might have something to say about it.
This is so rough here. It's very, very lucky they're able to get that knock onto Schweppes and delay the fight, but Scout gets taken down. Now just Sarang and Aladdin, but Fluka with the DBS in hand.
What are you going to do against Dubbig Shotgun? Pushes on in, no Sarang out of the building. Aladdin down, 1 player left. They know exactly where he is. 7C to fall under the gaze of Vampire Esports, taking the chicken dinner on Sanhok.
Vampire Esports, they may have been slow in the beginning like a turtle, but towards the end with the DBS, they were showing the shells to 7C. They're out of it, and Vampire Esports will take home the chicken dinner and the 10K for that one. Beautiful stuff overall. You love to see it.